Hi everyone. So last night, a 22-year-old apparently Muslim man called Salman Abidi decided to blow himself up among young kids, children, teenagers, young adults at an Ariana Grande concert in Manchester. So this far, 22 people have been confirmed dead, and a lot of people got injured. And of course, this is nothing new. This has been going on for a while, and I'm getting a bit more than tired of this basic response we keep getting to this wave of terrorism. They say that we shouldn't give in to fear and that we should carry on as normal, otherwise the terrorists win. We cannot respond at all. We cannot talk about closing the borders, restricting immigration from Muslim countries, because all those things make ISIS win. Somehow ISIS wants us to protect ourselves from ISIS. So there's some sort of a logic that doesn't really open up to people outside this multiculturalist bubble. And all the same platitudes keep coming. First of all, it's all these hopes and prayers. And then when they are done with the disclaimer, pretending to be sorry about it, pretending to be concerned, then they start whitewashing. They start talking about the backlash against Muslims, how it's Muslims who are the real victims of terrorism. Most people killed by terrorists are Muslim. And there can be this wave of Islamophobia and racism if we don't control ourselves. So we must be wary, because Muslims are the real victims. That's their narrative about it. And they jump on it as soon as they can. And the Finnish Prime Minister, Juha Sipilä, he has made a series of tweets about terrorist attacks. And some people had noticed there seemed to be a pattern about these tweets. In almost all of these tweets about different terrorist attacks, he always says the same things. I'm shocked. I am so concerned. I am strongly condemning this. It's the same time and time again. Every time a terrorist attack happens, this response comes from our leaders. And some people, some of these multiculturalists, they seem almost evil. Even though I know most of these people are useful idiots, they are good people who mean to do good, but they are simply so misguided that they don't realize the damage they are doing with this multiculturalism. And there's this woman, Anna Maria Gutierrez, who is an immigrant in Finland. And she made a blog post about the Manchester attack only half a day after it happened. And in that blog post, she said, "We mustn't give space for evil. Now we need love and beauty in our lives and around us. Really, just soldier on in loving." Imagine someone saying that. Like, would you say that to the mother of the dead 8-year-old in Manchester? I don't think you would tell her to keep loving, see beauty around you. No, you wouldn't do that. So if that doesn't work on the micro level, why would you say that on the macro level? Why would you say that to an entire nation? It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's a blame against us. Like, it's like she thinks that these people weren't loving, that they were some sort of evil racists. These were children and young adults enjoying a concert. They were loving, they were seeing beauty around them. They were just having fun, living normal lives. They weren't evil people. So telling us to change our attitudes for the better is, first of all, really condescending. And it's blaming, because it makes it sound as if we aren't that in the first place, as if we aren't loving, as if we aren't seeing beauty. And I love a lot, and I have a lot of beauty around me, and I'm good at building it. But that doesn't have anything to do with terrorism. Like, my feelings and my actions don't affect ISIS. They don't affect these jihadis. They do what they will, regardless of what I do. And I don't know what she's meaning. Like, is she saying that we should just pretend this isn't happening? Focus on the nice things, just close your eyes on all the nasty things? But how do you do that when it hits you? It's easier to do that when it happens in some other country, when it happens to some other people. But what what do you do when it happens to you yourself? Are you going to say, okay, I'm just going to soldier on in loving? No, I don't think so. That's so disingenuous, so condescending, and so guilt-tripping that it really sounds evil, even though I know this woman isn't evil. She's a well-meaning woman who's simply very misguided and making herself a useful idiot. But this is how deranged these people become when they believe in this ideology. And these people have some of these basic assumptions that are very wrong. They believe that it takes two to have a war, that we need to accept a declaration of war and join a war to be in one. No, it doesn't work like that. If someone declares a war on us, we are at war, whether we like it or not. That's just how it is. So we have two options. Either we accept that we are in the war, we take our role, we fulfill our responsibility for our nation and our families and for our people, and do what our ancestors have always done. We protect our country, we protect our children, we protect our own people. That's the other choice. The other choice is to just bury our heads in the sand and be a part of a one-sided war, which is also known as a genocide. Those are the choices we have. Not being in a war, peace, all these nice things, they aren't an option because a war has been declared against us. And the second thing these people seem to believe is that if you just close your eyes from everything, if you just focus on the nice things, problems will just go away. And no, they won't. This terrorism wave, it's only the beginning, because look at these countries that are 100% Muslim. Look at Syria, Libya, Iraq, Somalia, Nigeria. They're complete hellholes. They have it so much worse than us. We only have a few percent Muslim population over here in Europe, and still they are managing to do this much damage, this much terrorism, these rape waves, crime waves. All of this is their doing. No-go zones, women not daring to go to cafes in Paris. And they managed to do this with such a small population. Imagine when there's more of them. If we don't close the borders, more will come, and our countries will become more like these Muslim countries I mentioned before. So no, this won't go away on its own. And these people also like to believe that these problems are our fault somehow. They have this white man's burden, that everything brown people do must be white people's responsibility, because brown people just are like that. And they hold a higher standard for white people. So they say that we should integrate these people better, and that we should fight racism and exclusion and make sure we are an open, multi-ethnic, vibrant society. And that doesn't work, because it's not racism and exclusion and lack of integration doing this. It's the nature of Islam. It's the nature of these people. Because, yet again, I would tell you to look at these Muslim countries like Iraq or Somalia or Syria. They are pretty much 100% Muslim countries. So they aren't facing any lack of integration there. They aren't facing racism or exclusion. So why are the problems so much worse there? Shouldn't it be better in there, where they have none of these issues? So clearly we have proven that even at the best level of integration and anti-racism, Muslims will still keep doing this. So no, there isn't anything we can do about our behavior that would stop them from doing this. Closing the borders, sending them out, that's the only way. So if you let a fox into a hen house, you can blame the massacre on lack of integration and prejudice of the chickens all you like. But it doesn't change the fact that the fault is in allowing the fox to come into the hen house. A fox has a fox's nature. I understand why these left-wingers have such a hard time admitting their failures. Because imagine that part, like imagine being that useful idiot that you want to do good, you want to make the world a better place, you want to help people and you want to be nice and create all these good things like peace and tolerance. And then you turn around and you see that you have created something completely different, that there's a rape wave behind this your ideology of yours, that it has created a wave of terrorism. There are corpses of children because of your ideology. And there are hate crimes against sexual minorities who you are supposed to protect. There is a worsening in the status of women in the society. Another thing you should be fighting against. And this is all of your doing. Your ideology led to this, and you meant to do good, and instead you created this unmentionable horror on an entire continent. So it must be hard to admit that you have such blood on your hands. So I understand why they like to hold on to this ideology tooth and nail, because they need it so bad. They don't want to see the destruction they have done. But that's what you have to do, because you have to stop thinking about your own feelings and your own self, and you have to start thinking about the society at large. And one thing that has bothered me a lot about the rhetorics used by left-wingers, this is the last thing I'll mention here, is that they like to say a lot that we should just keep on living as normal, go to concerts, go to theme parks, live as normal, because otherwise these terrorists will win. The Independent actually tweeted that we should just, or British people should carry on. Does that remind you of something? To my mind, that really brought the wartime poster, keep calm and carry on. And a lot of people think it was a real poster actually used during the wartime. But no, it never got to be used, because it was designed for a very specific situation. The people designing the poster thought that they would use it if the Germans got to land Britain, if they got to invade Britain. And if things were really bad, Britain would really be in peril, that's the poster they would use. But they never got to use that, because the Germans never got there. Things never got bad enough. But now they are using that rhetoric. Now they are saying keep calm and carry on. Think about it. Even in the Second World War, during Blitz and everything, things weren't bad enough for that rhetoric. But now they are saying it. And it's because the enemy is already here. During the wartime, the enemy wasn't there. Now it is. Think about it. Wake up, please.